Hey guys, Justin here with CBI Off-Road. Today we're going to be installing a high clearance front bumper on a 2014 5th generation 4Runner. So this is going to involve cutting the front bumper. So we're just going to kind of do an overview on where it is that you need to cut so you guys have the confidence to make these cuts. Okay, the first part of your cut is a dead giveaway, so it's going to be this fender line right here is where you're going to start applying your tape. Okay, so as you move across and you're making your measurements, right here in this kind of factory honeycomb insert, where the full honeycombs start, just simply count down 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then your tape is basically going to be in between the 4th and the 5th full honeycomb. So then coming across, once you get to this point here, you're going to want to measure down. We're sitting at close to 5.5 inches down from this factory line, and this is actually going to be a conservative number because we can always take more material off, but we can't add to the vehicle. So we're going to go ahead and cut at that 5.5 mark and then test fit the bumper and see where we're at and if we need to take more off. Now coming across, we get into more bigger honeycombs. So basically there's a half honeycomb on top and then a full. So we're halfway roughly on the top side of this full honeycomb, and you can double check and you're approximately 1.5 inches down. So keep that line going across and then basically repeat the same on the driver's side. A quick verification to make sure that your tape is lining up is if you stand to the side and look at the different planes of the body, you can see that they both line up in a good straight line, so you know your cut's going to come out good. Okay, so we've made our cut all the way across, and I went ahead and made a diagonal cut along here, and I've removed these two 10mm bolts and pulled this panel off. You definitely don't want to get too close to your fog light, but other than that, you're free to make that cut. So this piece of plastic here, this is a 10mm or Phillips head bolt. I've already kind of loosened it, it's just sitting there, but we need to cut right here a little bit deeper in order to get this plastic out of the way. The metal back here can stay, but this plastic is going to get in the way of the new bumper, so we want to go ahead and get that out. Okay, so we finished all our cuts. Now I went ahead and unplugged the fog lights, and the only thing holding the bumper on now, at least the cut section, is going to be 6 10mm bolts. There's 2 on this side, there's 2 here in the middle, and there's another 2 right here. So we're going to go ahead and take those out, and the bumper should come down. Okay, so moving along in the process, bumper's off clearly. This is our fog light wiring, those were disconnected. We need to take off this structure right here, this kind of crash bar setup. So the bolts that hold that on are right here, and it looks like there's going to be 4. There's 3 on this side, 1 on this side, and it's going to be the same on this side on this other mounting location. Okay, after you remove the 4 bolts that hold this kind of crash bar assembly on, there's a little hook that's going to hold it on the back side. So you can take all the bolts out. It won't fall on your head, so no worries there. but when you remove it, you'll have to lift up and pull towards the front of the vehicle to get it off. Alright, so after you remove the crash bar, make sure you keep the hardware handy because you're going to need it to reinstall the new high clearance bumper. And also this bolt right here I removed. These are some suspension components the customer has. You probably won't have this here, but you will have this bolt in here, and it is a 19mm head bolt, and it's going to be used on the new bumper as well, so keep that handy. Okay, so there's two of these kind of plastic wind deflector pieces that are going to need to come out. One's on the passenger side, the other's on the driver. I've already removed it, but basically there's just one clip in each side that just kind of pops out, and then you kind of just have to find the sweet spot for it to make its way out. So there it goes. Okay, just a quick pro tip, being that this is a white vehicle and we're installing a black bumper, the bumper, there's going to be a little bit of a gap that you need to allow for just for flex, and when you're on the trail everything kind of needs to move independently. But with that black bumper there's going to be maybe a ½ an inch in here where you might be seeing this white kind of body support. So what we're going to do is basically just kind of cover the vehicle and just touch this up at black just so it'll kind of hide and match in with that bumper just fine. Okay, so we got our trim installed, and just a quick tech tip, when you do your cut, don't think that, you know, one cut and you're good to go. I mean, that may be the case, but don't be afraid to test fit this bumper. You know, I do these every day, and I've literally put this bumper up and down 3 times. So grab a couple buddies, treat them right, and test fit as many times as you want, because a little bit of time in the beginning will pay off in the long term every time you walk by this vehicle. Alright guys, so one of the next steps that we're going to do is we're going to trim this inner fender liner to kind of flow with this new high clearance bumper. So basically I've kind of drawn a line with a Sharpie, and you can use a razor knife or, you know, whatever you see fit to cut it, but this works just fine. We're kind of starting up here at this corner and going down basically diagonal, and we're going to end up down on this side here, and we'll end up drilling a hole and throwing a zip tie in here to secure this end of it. The rest should be tucked up into there out of harm's way. Okay, after you get your inner fender liner cut, just go ahead and kind of stuff it up in there. And there's this factory hole right here. I'm just using the Sharpie. I'm going to mark the inner fender liner. We're going to drill it right there so that we can put a zip tie to secure this front edge out of the way.